Okay, grade 12s, this lesson is on mixed variables and casting. So as you know, there's different types of variables that we use, and we can cast one type to another type depending on what we're trying to do. Sometimes it's makes sense to do that, and so I'm going to go to IntelliJ and create a new program. This is my old one. So I'm going to make a new project. So new project, and I'm going to call it converting case. So the first thing I want to do, just kind of as a housekeeping thing, is show you how to convert the case. So I'm going to just go to next, uppercase and lowercase. That's what I'm trying to get at. So converting case. The word converting has a capital C, case has a capital C, and I put them together, and then finish. So I'm going to go to SRC, right click on SRC, new Java class, and maybe next time I'll already have this done for you so you don't have to watch me doing this, because it does take a few seconds in Java class. So converting case. So here we are, public static void main string args, because I've done this 100 times already. This is in the first, I've been doing this for a long time. So, okay, so we want to make this program called converting case.java, which is what we've done. And what it's going to do is just show you how to convert to uppercase or to lowercase. So I'll put, this program shows how to convert to upper and lowercase using the string methods. To start using that terminology, string methods, to uppercase and to lowercase. So I just typed that in really quickly. Here we go. So we're going to make a string. I'm going to call it S1. So my string is called S1, and it's going to have Notre Dame in it. And notice it's a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters. Okay, so I can print it out. Print out S1, and it's going to be as it's shown. And now I'm going to do S1 equals S1 dot, and remember, because a string, S1 is a string, it has a whole bunch of methods. Any method that any string, all string objects have methods available to them. And S1 is a string, so it has the to uppercase, and you can see it's here in IntelliJ, to uppercase method available to it. And that's all you have to do. Set S1 equal to S1.to uppercase. Now when we print it, it'll print Notre Dame in all caps. One reason why you might want to, and then I'll also show you lowercase. So one reason why you might, okay, so another way to do this is, instead of setting S1 equal to it, you can just do it this way. System.out.println S1.to lowercase. So what this does is it prints, it's going to show it in lowercase, but it's not going to save it or store it in lowercase first. So whereas in line 7, it stores the uppercase version, it overwrites what was in S1 with all uppercase. In line 9, it just prints it on the screen without storing it anywhere. What I was getting to before, we want to do this in a lot of times with user input. So let's say that someone's typing in their postal code and they're signing up for a service online, or they're typing in, I don't know, something. Yeah, postal code is a good example for that, or CanadaPost.ca. When you go to look it up on the database, you want to make sure it's in a certain format, and that is all uppercase letters. Otherwise, it won't be able to find things properly. You don't want to have a website or a program where if they type in the correct postal code, but just because it's in lowercase, the program doesn't work. Maybe you've encountered a program like that. My response or your response to a program like that might be, well, this wasn't done very well. And so converting things to upper or lower case before comparing them can save you a lot of if statements. So that is just converting case. I'm going to show you another program now. So try that out. Make sure it works for you. I'm going to try it too, just because I don't trust myself and I make errors all the time. So you never know. And it works just fine. I'm going to make another project now called file, new project. I have about 3 examples here. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3 examples. Okay, so escape sequences. I want to show you more on escape sequences. We did look at that in a previous lesson. Call this escape sequences, capital E, and then sequences.java. This window. And then I'm going to go to SRC, right-click, new Java class. Getting faster at this. Escape sequences.java. And so this is going to be, remember we used \n for the new line character. Pause if you need to and catch up because I'm doing that awfully quickly. So the backslash is used to escape into an escape sequence. The \n is one that we've seen. Here's a few that you can try out. System, I don't even know if we need a lesson for this. I could have just put this in a document. But I'm going to pause. Okay, so if you want to type in a quote, if you just type in a quote at the end, whoops, if there's a quote at the beginning to start your string, and you have a quote, you can't put a quote because that's going to terminate the string. So if you want to type in a quote, if you wanted to show a quote in your print statement, you have to do \quote. And you can see it's in a different color. And then we can say really. Okay, so this course is really great. Hopefully you're not being too sarcastic, but and then system.out.println. This is how you can put an extra line in. Here is an extra new line, so \n. All right, and how about an extra \? If you wanted to print out a \, it's probably what you guessed. It's just 2 backslashes. So you're going to use the \, to escape into an escape sequence, and then you're going to type in the \ so that you can see it. Because if you just type in a single \, Java thinks that's for the escape sequence. Kind of inception, right? So printing a \, it's 2 backslashes. And then finally, my last example here. And here is a tab character. Try these out, see what they do. Okay, I'm going to pause and start another video, and this one is going to be called operators. Okay, and we're going to see some operators. Before we do that, I'm going to go to my browser and show you something. Okay, so I'm going to go to my browser. And you can see the operators there. You may have seen these or used these before, or maybe you've never seen them before. Nevertheless, we need to know them for Java. They're shortcuts. These are just shortcuts, but they're used so often you need to know them, kind of like shorthand. So C++, if you have a variable C that's an integer, that's going to increase the value of the variable by 1, but it's going to do it at the end of the statement. ++C is the next one. It still increases the value by 1, but it increments it before it evaluates anything else. And we'll see what we mean in a second by that. Before anything else on the line. It's kind of like order of operations. So the ++C pushes it to the start of the order of operations before bedmess. C++ does it at the end. All right. Those are the two that are very similar but kind of tricky. The trickiest ones. The other things that I want to show you, x plus equals 3, so take a look at that line there, x plus equals 3. That's the same as x equals x plus 3. So what it's doing is it's taking the value of x, it's incrementing it by 3. So if the value of x was 5, it's going to add 3 to it, and it's going to make it 8. Y minus equals 5, it's going to subtract 5 from the value of y and store the new value in y. And similarly, you can do that with multiplication and division. Those operators are very important because they are shorthand, they save time. Back when C was invented, these operators come from 1972 or before, when the C programming language was made, when you would type a key on the keyboard and you'd have to wait a delay of 2 or 3 seconds or whenever it was before you actually saw the character come up on the keyboard. You have to be as economical as possible with your keystrokes. And even still, programmers don't want to be typing all day, as much they do anyway, but you want to minimize the typing if you can. So, okay, I just went to the next part of the document called operators.java. You can try this program out. I'll just explain what it does quickly. We have a program called operators here. We have a variable called d that's set to 5. It's an integer. And d++, it's still going to print out 5. Even though d was 5 on the line before it, d++ increments the value of the variable, but it doesn't do it until the very, very end of the line. So it's going to print out 5. So at the end, it prints out 5, it increments it to 6, then it goes to the next line. And because of ++d and the way that works, it's going to increment it again before it prints it. So that's why you get 5 and 7. Make sure you understand the difference between d++ and ++d. You can use the ++ operator before or after for any variable. They're for integers, even for doubles as well, or floats. So make sure before you continue you're familiar and comfortable with that concept. Okay, the last part of my lesson is on integer division. Maybe the second last part, my mistake. So integer division, we have two integers here, x equals 5 and y equals 2. Integer division truncates or cuts off any decimals from the answer. So if your two variables are integers, and I'm going to try to trick you with this on the tests, we're going to have like a Google form, but if you have two integers and you perform division on them, Java will do the division, but it will not. It will display the result in the form of an integer. So therefore, it truncates or cuts off any decimals. Remember that. It's an important concept that will come back. Finally, last part of the lesson is about doubles. The thing to know here is that if any part of the expression is a double already, then the result, the overall result, will be a double. So here I've got two integers, x and y, and then I've got a double z. Even though z is 6, it's still stored as 6.0. So we have print line z. It's going to print 6.0. Now the following, this line that I'm highlighting here, interesting thing here, x and y are both integers. So we're doing the integer division, but we're casting x as a double. So I'm just going to highlight this, double x. This is how we cast something as a double, and that double only applies to x. So when it gets to the division, x is already a double. It does double x divided by integer y, and it shows the result as a double. Okay, so make sure you're good with that concept as well. That's the end of this lesson. See you next time.